Hi, welcome back. How to sharpen an old chisel. You can see this chisel, it's blunt. It's proper blunt. Even the edge is not it's not straight. It's been curved. It's been used for demolition and praising up and all that sort of things. But this is old footprint. It's a good quality steel, and there's no reason why we shouldn't revive it. Now, when it's bad, when it's gone bad like that, as you can see, there is no sharpness to it at all. First, it needs to be redressed and reshaped. So I'm going to use bench grinder. We've got coarse side and we got a fine side. So I'm going to try to reshape it first to get straight edge like that. That's going 90 degrees against the chisel to get square edge, and then I'm going to try to reform this angle here, because cross section of chisel would be the flat side and angle. Now, you never sharpen against this flat side. On a flat side, always has to stay flat. You do not touch that with the grinder. You never turn chisel that way on the wheel. Always that way, because the flat side always has to stay true flat. You shape this edge here. That edge there, it's irrelevant. That's the top edge. You don't have to do nothing to that edge there. So let's begin. You can see that edge now, it's fully flat and square. Now, don't worry about bluntness of the chisel. See how blunt is that now? That edge is about 1.5 to 2 millimeters thick, and it's flat. So now, second step would be to reform the angle, and I'm gonna go now on the fine stone. see, we got our angle back on now. So, as you can see, I didn't touch the flat side of the chisel with the sharpening wheel. Everything is done on the back. Now you probably noticed me holding my finger there. When I'm using wheel, just let it stop. Alright. When I'm using wheel, I'm using my finger as a guide. So I get same angle all the way through, so I don't get dips or anything like that. Also, on a finishing stage, you can actually fully flatten that side against the side of the stone, like this. Here we got the oil stone. It's northern India. It has got the blue side and the red side. We're going to use the blue side first because that's a coarse side. And being an oil stone, it needs to be lubricated with oil. Don't be afraid of oil. Having it on your fingers is always paper tissue. Now, if you look at your chisel, on the flat side it will have like a little wire that is sticking out. That's where the metal has folded upwards. So we need to remove that. We're going to remove it by placing the chisel now on the flat side, down on the stone. Never go down that way down, always go from the side, from that side down onto, because you never want to put any sort of angle at the front. Then with your left hand, put 2 fingers on top of the chisel to keep it pressed down flat, and move chisel a few times back and forth. Do not lift the handle, keep chisel flat down on the stone. That's step 1. When chisel starts gliding smoothly over the stone, lift the edge and inspect that edge now, and you'll feel that there is nothing sticking upwards that way. Now we can start sharpening this side here. So you have to put chisel flat. If you got oil on a stone like I got here, should have, when you're lifting it, you put a back edge of the chisel first. As you're lifting the chisel, you will, when it gets flat on the stone, you will see oil squirting out a little bit from underneath the edge there. So just look at the edge, see? So that's not flat, that's flat. So keep that angle. Left hand with 2 fingers on the flat part of the chisel, thumb underneath. That's your left hand. Your right hand, you hold the chisel for the handle like this. Yeah, so that's the way. So you hold 2 fingers there, thumb underneath, then with right hand like this. If you're left-handed, do the same thing, just opposite. So we lift up the chisel until we see oil coming out from the front edge, and then use entire surface of the stone. Some people do number 8, that's a bit harder for beginners maybe. And obviously lock your angle into that position. Don't keep, some people do this, don't do that. It needs to stay same angle. So on same angle, and just go back and forth. That's why it's good to clip it with 2 hands. It helps you control that chisel. You don't have to put too much pressure, just a firm hold, and just glide it over the oil stone back and forth using the entire surface. It's not strenuous work, it's just repetitive. Then we can inspect the chisel. If you run your thumb out over the front edge on the flat side, you will feel again that little burr, little wire that's going upwards. That's good sign. That means that we have kept the edge on correct angle. Yeah, I got nice distinctive edge there now. Now, same thing as previously, just put a little bit more oil. You put chisel flat with this edge against the edge of the stone, and then flat down on the stone. Just glide it a few times back and forth. Do not lift the handle, you can literally hold it like that. And just a few glides back and forth to take that edge. There is no edge, and I can feel now edge going back the other way. So now return to same angle. A few more strokes. I can feel that edge. Now again, on this side. You can see now even that side start getting some shine. A bit more on the angle side. And repeat this a few times until you get that shape, square shape. And I mean square that way. So it's square, that edge of the blade square with the side of the chisel. And also you get flat this side here. Now that chisel now is sharp, but it's not razor sharp. So what we do then, we flip the stone to red side. It's a fine side. Little squirt of oil. And start again. Doing the angle bit again. As I said earlier, I'll just repeat this again. So when you put chisel down and lift up, you will see oil coming out from the front. It's pushing oil. That's flat, and that's your angle. And just use that angle. Go back and forth. Holding chisel with two hands, left hand and right hand, keeping chisel on the same angle throughout the glide. You can hear the different noise coming on this red side of the stone. It's much smoother, much finer. Then we can feel again a bit of edge there. Repeat the process. Just flatten the flat side. Never form the angle on the flat side. You don't need angle there. One side of chisel is always flat and one is angled. I need to secure this this box. So I'm just going to use a G-clamp against the edge of the table. There's a G-clamp. Bring the old stone box to it. I'm going to use this bench grind on the other side to keep it flat, sturdy. Now, flatten the flat side. Go on the edge, angle. Pick up oil from the end, spread oil. That's getting now sharper and sharper. Do the flat side, do the angle side, and every time now we're doing less and less passes on each side. These are now finishing stages of sharpening. Just a couple of passes on each side. Please keep that edge in correct angle. I think that's the hardest thing to learn in your hand, is how to get that angle, to keep the angle. Wipe. This is our angle side, this is flat side. Now that is pretty much sharp. It's pretty sharp, it's got nice shine to it. Just gonna do it a little bit more. Because gliding on oil like this, you've now got lots of fine steel paste on that stone, and that is now pretty much polishing that edge. Also, this helps as honing. If you just imagine you run one way, then the other way, so if there's a little edge that is making that still blunt, you're cleaning that edge. Now let's try, see if it can shave. Oh, you can hear that. And that's not pretty. Hand hair comes from shaving. That's why I always got bald patches. Look, I got another one there. My left arm always got bald patches, because that's how I test my chisels and knives, that they are sharp. And that is a razor sharp chisel from, as we saw earlier. You can still see here it's got that rusty patina. That doesn't really affect performance of the chisel, doesn't matter. What is important is to keep the flat edge flat, never have any sharpening tool or anything there, and have that edge sharpen on the angle side, but keep the angle constant throughout your sharpening process. And that is one sharp chisel. There you go, I've got this piece of wood secured there. Let's try chisel, look at that. That is a sharp chisel. You can see these shavings, these little curls. That's a product of the sharp chisel. There you go, guys. Thumbs up.